have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Scholars of Wrestling. Tarek Awar here, and alongside me, as always, my partners in crime, Brian Ringwood and Jeff Smith. And I must say, gentlemen, it has been a real back and forth week in the world of professional wrestling. From the mess that came from WWE Battleground to the awesomeness that came the next night on Raw.
Coming off the last 3 pay-per-views, okay?
Yes?
Raw has been amazing after each one. Something has happened after each one that causes us to go, huh?
I've got my own theory about that. We could probably make an entire episode out of this, but...
A theory on why the after shows are better than the go-home shows, fool?
Oh no, just why the after show is in general.
After shows are awesome.
I know, and they have been for a while, and I've got my own theory about that. I strongly think it's tied into this new business model they got going on with the WWE Network, since it seems like the individual shows are worth less, and the overall flow of the shows is worth a lot more these days. I'm not sure how much that's valid. It just a thought I had when I really started thinking about what we got out of this really odd pay-per-view. It's not that I hated it. It wasn't great. I don't think anyone will say that it was. But again, for me, given my unique viewing circumstances, I didn't mind this pay-per-view. It just wasn't what I think any of us really thought it would be or could be.
It wasn't
just weird.
It wasn't the worst pay-per-view of the year. It wasn't the best pay-per-view of the year. It was there. Basically, it wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just one of those, like, there are some good things to say about it. There are some bad things, and it's there.
I'll tell you what, though. Again, I mentioned this to you, fool. The one big reason I think I really enjoyed this pay-per-view as much as I did was I had just gotten my Xbox One just the day before, and I just discovered the picture-in-picture feature of this thing. So I was pretty much playing Killer Instinct while I was watching the pay-per-view. So, yeah, peanut butter milk chocolate, baby.
The one thing about the pay-per-view that baffled me is that the card was great. Every match that we had on the card was like, ooh, this is actually very good. The matches are good on paper. Even the build was actually interesting. We were all intrigued of what was going to happen. But then the final sell at the pay-per-view is what turned everything around for me, because for me, it didn't seem like most of the wrestlers were on their A game. They were just like going through this as if it was like a house show.
I'll tell you what, it's because it really should have, maybe not a house show, but this definitely should have been like a lead up to a Raw,
special edition Raw.
Yeah, leading up to SummerSlam, which was actually what this show ended up being, or at least that's what it felt like in my eyes. At least like a third of the way through,
setting up the SummerSlam matches.
Bingo. Yeah. Once we get into the main card, I'll pinpoint the exact moment when I realized where this whole entire card was going and how they pretty much led up to what we're going to see for the next month.
And one other thing that shocked us is that our predictions last week, most of them were just completely wrong.
Yeah,
we thought we had this pay-per-view figured out, and WWE just Triple H turned around and gave us the big middle fingers like, you guys think you're so smart. No, you're not.
What we really did, was we predicted the SummerSlam card.
That's exactly what we
predicted. The SummerSlam card correctly. We just got
this wasn't SummerSlam.
Totally wrong.
We got our months wrong. We got our pay-per-views events wrong. We were just silly.
It happens.
The scholars of wrestling need to take some remedial classes.
Yes,
that's sad. It's true.
It's okay. We're gonna get straight A's next semester. We swear.
It's the summer. It's the summer semester. We can. It's the lowdown time.
This is the summer school. We're not actually in the official semester yet.
We're not in the zone.
Auto zone.
I was really hoping
you had to go there.
You had to pull it.
Yeah. Well, hey, how many times have you set that up off of a recording? But whatever. You
Okay.
programmed me to do it. Let's
All
get
right.
into the pay-per-view.
All right, let's start with the pre-show match, which
Let's.
I am very surprised at this one. Cameron actually defeating Naomi, and I got nothing to say. I didn't watch the pre-show because of this match. I honestly
Am I the only one who
didn't care.
watched the pre-show?
I didn't watch it.
I watched the match,
Okay.
and it was there.
I was expecting a little something out of this.
You were expecting something out of Cameron?
No, I was expecting something out of this match. I didn't say I was expecting... I don't think anybody was expecting anything out of Cameron, and you know what?
We weren't expecting anything out of Cameron, but we got a Cameron victory. That's what we got. What? What?
Well, really, I was expecting, okay, maybe they're going to start differentiating both these ladies. Maybe they'll do something with them. I'll tell you what, Cameron especially fell victim to the WWE Diva Syndrome, which was you take a beautiful woman, presumably full of some sort of talent, and you do absolutely nothing with her.
See,
You
here's
make her completely generic, and she comes out in a schoolgirl outfit, which normally is, yeah, that's my jam, and you make me not care. Again,
Wait,
Naomi.
Cameron came out in a schoolgirl outfit?
Yes, she did.
Oh, okay.
And Naomi comes out, and of course, I like Naomi, and they don't really put a very flattering outfit on Naomi, which is tough to do, all things considered. Put all this stuff together. The one good thing I can say about this match, no butt-faced offense from Naomi. Just legit wrestling moves. It was good, and then 1, 2, 3 scroll girl roll up from Cameron to presumably continue the feud. Oh boy.
Okay, first of all, shame on you for expecting anything out of Cameron ever.
Hey, he's Captain Optimus here.
Okay, do you remember Tough Enough? That's it.
That's
Okay.
all that needs to
Let
be
me just
said.
put you in my mindset here.
In
I had
Captain
just gotten
Optimus mode.
the WWE Network not maybe 2 hours ago. I'm still brimming with optimism. It's the beginning of my Sunday night on a pay-per-view week. I am ready and willing and able to watch wrestling. I am in the mood for wrestling. Wrestling is about to start on a pay-per-view night, and I'm just... It's like when you're really hungry and you go to a restaurant and you order the appetizer, and the appetizer sucks.
Did you? Okay. You saved it with the appetizer sucks. I'm like, do you remember what I said last week about that?
That's why you gotta let me finish my thoughts.
It was like, all of a sudden, you're getting hungry and pay-per-view, pre-show, appetizer
No.
crap. I was like, God!
The pay-per-view, the appetizer sucks, but you're just so hungry that you'll just consume whatever drivel that they shove on your plate.
But it leaves nothing to your belly. You are not satisfied
I never
with
said
that.
you didn't regret it later.
If this is what they thought would get you ready for a pay-per-view,
Fail.
indeed.
Which is probably why they included the other segment with
So guess
with
what?
the pre-show.
That one
What do you give
gets a
it rating?
baby face.
You got a baby. Clean shaven?
I'm gonna call it a baby face.
So is that
A
0?
baby face.
Is baby face now 0?
No.
Babyface equals clean shaven.
Zero
so
is
there you
like
go.
razor burn, I guess. I don't know.
Razor burn?
0 means you have no head.
Yes, you get the Marie Antoinette.
So
street
you
premium.
just get baby face razor burn.
You get Ned Stark.
I can't give it a rating because I
0
didn't
is a
see
Ned
it.
Stark. Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's like what you were trying to segue in, and we were trying to figure out rating system here.
I'll
Let's
give
talk
this
about
a clean shave, whatever.
let's talk about the two guys who were taken out of actually taken out of the Intercontinental Championship Battle Royal. Adam Rose, which we were right about, and Fun Done Go. The man who lost everything, who lost his girlfriends, both of them, and the man who's now nothing more important than the advertising guy for WWE.
Even though he only did that for what, 1 week?
2 weeks. He did Sonic. He did Sonic with Damian Sandow. He did the Twisted.
I missed the Sonic ad. Oh man,
That's all he's good for now.
Why?
And for winning matches on the pre-show.
Yeah,
Adam
I don't
Rose.
want to care about Adam Rose. I do. And really, there's only 2 things I remember about this entire segment. Summer Rae and Layla. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much
And
my
Layla
thoughts.
was sort of all over the place, if you know what I mean.
Layla
Tell me I'm not the only one.
Layla was a little bouncy, and I like a little bouncy.
No, she was a lot bouncy. Let's be real here.
Yeah, true.
And her and Summer Rae took that bouncy and gave it to Zack Ryder the next night on Raw.
Is that what you call it?
Sure.
I think Zack Ryder has
Zack
had a very good couple days.
He had the best
in
Raw
character, at least.
He had.
Oh no! Period.
He's had the best night in 2014 Monday night. Finally getting a win on Monday Night Raw and getting action from two very attractive ladies. Good for Zack Ryder. Woo, woo, woo.
I know it.
He knows it.
I wish I could I wish I could just bro fist him right now. And all jokes aside,
I gotta put my broski headband back on.
Yeah, that made me just get all warm and fuzzy feelings for Zack Ryder. Just after all the crap he's had to deal with, it's at least something.
And just watch and we'll not see him again until 2015 on Raw,
where he can win again.
Zack Ryder, one time a year. And he somehow
Zack
manages
Ryder
to pull
beats
a victory.
the newest character of Damien Sandow. That'll be next week on Raw.
That actually sounds likely. Don't get my hopes up now. Anyway.
All right, we're done with the pre-show nonsense.
Very disappointing.
I'm going to give that just for
what do you give the pre-show? Ratings for the pre-show, you two.
I
didn't see it.
I'm going to go with Peach Fuzz just because of Summer Rae and Layla.
I'm gonna have to agree.
Okay,
it's bouncy equals ratings. Okay,
and obviously we're talking about Summer Rae's hair. I mean, it's not like we're talking about anything else. Yeah, we're classy.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly.
I just look away. That's my rating. Just looking away at the pre-show. Now on to the real show. The first match, aka the show stealer for me.
You're not wrong.
The Usos defending the tag team championships against the Wyatt family, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, in a 2 out of 3 falls. Usos win. Wyatts win first fall. Usos win the next 2. Like I said, match of the night, and it's the first match on the card. I loved everything about this match except the fact that the Wyatts did not win.
Based on pure wrestling, yes, I would say that this was the match of the night. Basically everything I hoped it would be, except for the outcome. It's the Wyatts and the Usos.
That seems to be the consensus, really.
The last 3 months, the Wyatts and the Usos have just been consistent, steady, and every match has been good, and they always come up with something new. 3 months, you'd think they'd run out of new stuff to do, but they haven't. Obviously,
there's one thing that's always been the same: the outcome.
Yes,
that's the only thing that hasn't changed. That when it comes to the tag team championship, the Usos always win. When it comes to everything else, typical championship formula: champions keep losing on Raws, SmackDowns, main events, and whatever, but somehow pulled an awesome victory at the pay-per-view, at the tag team title match, where the victory matters most. I just loved, at the end of this, when they knocked Eric Rowan off the apron and they were going to set up for the double splash on Harper, everyone started booing. Yeah, everyone was into this match. They were loving it. This is awesome chants all around. And next thing you know, Uso setting up for the finisher. Boo! Boo! Double splash, 1, 2, 3, over.
Yeah, the general consensus is all the same all the way around, no matter where you look. The Wyatts were due. Again, it's not like they don't deserve it, but the Usos, I mean. But there was this prevailing feeling of why. It's just, why?
Maybe the rumors were true, and the Ascension is coming up to dethrone the Usos, but my problem is these guys have been fighting for 3 months.
Yeah,
you would think that if the Wyatts didn't win last month, okay, they probably should have won this month. Yeah, but if they're setting up for something down the line, that's fine. But if not, this was a wasted opportunity.
Really,
all these matches have been wasted opportunities. at least for the Wyatt's sake.
Unless you count into something else that they're building to, which, again, at this point, I really didn't pick up on just yet. At the time, I just chalked it up to being a really strange booking decision. Like, come on, the Wyatts are due. Why aren't you giving the titles to them? Okay, if Usos win, why?
You want to rebuild the momentum that the Wyatts are trying to get back after their whole thing with John Cena, and what's the point? Like, if they really are just building up for the Ascension to take the tag team titles off the Usos, I like the Ascension. I've seen what they've done on NXT. I've seen like highlights. I haven't seen something live yet, but from what I've seen, I do like them. It's just like, they're pretty much gonna pull a page and just have him win the titles the night they come in.
I just hope that if they do pull that, they do a better job of building them up than they did with Paige.
Assuming, of course, that actually is the end game here, which, to be fair, we have not heard any real big confirmation yet. They could be doing anything right now.
They were talking about it 2 months ago, and that's why I bring it up. But who knows at this point?
Yeah, because either way, that's what made this, at least for me, that's what made this result really, really strange. Again, not entirely unwelcome. Again, the Usos are a good tag team, but still, it's just the timing was off, and that was really the only factor that really hurt this match in the long run.
Yeah,
but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt the Wyatts because they were looking strong in this match.
Yeah.
Granted, they should have won the tag team titles maybe a month ago.
Exactly. That's the only detriment I can see.
I'll give it a full beard. I'll give it a full beard because great match, crisp, smooth. Everything went well, but the result, I don't know, man. And if I don't know, I can't give it the full
goat face.
I can't give it the goat face.
I'll tell you what, if this goes on for much longer, we're talking like months and months and months, where they don't pull the trigger on. If they keep teasing a Wyatt's title reign with the tag belts, and they don't do it. Maybe this might sound like a little bit of a stretch, but bear with me. This is sort of this will be approaching Daniel Bryan title status, where they keep teasing a long-term title victory, and they just never do it. They keep teasing it, and they come up with nonsense reasons not to do it. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself.
So what do you give the rating?
The rating itself, I'm going to say, for the match itself, it's a good, solid full beard. 4 out of 5 stars.
Okay, for me, like I said, this was the match of the night for me. Like what Brian said, everything was smooth. Nothing bad happened in this match. There were no moments where somebody messed up. It was easy going, hitting right on the mark. As much as I hate the result, I was in this match all the way. I was jumping out of my chair. I was throwing a little hissy fit when the Wyatts lost. But I was still entertained there and back. I'm actually going to have to give this a goat face just for the match itself. Storyline-wise, doesn't affect it, but just when it comes to the match, I'm giving it a goat face. This can't be the end of their feud. I don't want it to be the end of their feud as much as these series have been going on since WrestleMania?
I'll tell you what, if this isn't the end of the feud, then this is definitely the start of something decent. But again, I really honestly could not place that this early on in the card. It didn't register to me.
So yeah, hopefully it'll get back.
This is going somewhere. We're just riding the rails on the crazy train, and we just don't know where.
We'll reach the point where it's like, okay, where does the destination go? You'll have
to check in next week on Monday Night Raw and find out. By the WWE Network.
And now let's get on from the match of the night to the worst match of the night, at least in my opinion, which disappoints me actually. AJ defeating Paige for the Divas Championship. I was actually this close to saying the Women's Championship, but
it
doesn't have that.
basically
WWE
is.
doesn't have that much dignity on their Divas to give their title back. Divas Championship, sloppy as hell. I
am disappointed.
I am very disappointed. I'm actually angry with how this
I am
match.
disappointed.
Hopefully,
Disappointment to the extreme.
We'll get to that.
That's all I got to say. Clean shaven. I got nothing else to say.
Baby
Hopefully their match at SummerSlam, it will be better when they're actually on their A game. Because it's the second biggest pay-per-view. So screw this battleground match. Clean shaven.
Really?
I got nothing else. This match actually angered me for how not into the match these two were. And I know these two can go.
I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5 just because that these ladies are presentable. They definitely are. And I think I was starting to see where this was going. Obviously, with this match in particular, I knew that this was not the end of the feud. Obviously.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, this one was more obvious.
But for a feud starter, it was disappointing for me because, like you said, these two women have the potential. We know they have the potential. We know they have the potential of having a good match together. They were not really doing anything. They actually had more passion the next night on Raw after their tag team match with, who was it, Natalya and Emma. And when Paige finally turned on AJ, there was more passion on that one than they did.
Yeah, that's because it's the continuation of the feud. If this is more towards the beginning of it all, or just sort of blah blah blah, just sort of going through the motions, which I'm not saying is good. I'm not saying is optimal in this scenario. But again, I went into this thing not expecting the highest quality of match that these ladies can produce, especially not coming off of what we just saw with the tag match. With what we got, I thought it was certainly better than the pre-show, which, again, just coming off of the pre-show, everything else is going to look like gold in comparison. This...
You can't make a
Yeah, you can't argue with that.
You
can't argue with me with that one.
No, you can't compare anything to Cameron versus Naomi.
Yeah,
I can compare a lot of things, but nothing that really has
stop.
compares to wrestling.
It's like
don't you stop me.
Stop it.
Don't you
stop
me.
You
Let
dirty
me finish
fool.
a thought.
You are so dirty, the mind.
Hey,
Okay,
both of you going
stop it.
there.
Both
I don't know
you
where
stop.
you were
Sure you
going.
were.
Hey,
No, seriously, I wasn't. I wasn't.
hey, Peach Fuzz. Basically, same points as yours.
Did you just call me Peach Fuzz?
Yes. Look at what's on your face. No, just kidding.
Hey, come on. I have a long, lustrous beard here.
Okay.
It only covers up 1/10 of my face, but leave me alone.
The match itself, I will give a Peach Fuzz, basically confirming your points.
Darn straight.
That yes, it was sloppy as hell. Yes, it was disappointing as hell. I know that these two girls can do better, but there was something. Which I already gave a match a clean shaven that did absolutely nothing for me. This did a little bit of something, so I'll be nice and give it a Peach Fuzz. It really doesn't deserve it, but I'll give it a Peach Fuzz because it's leading into something, and it did a little bit more than the match that I already gave a clean shave.
I'll tell you this, though.
Everybody gets one.
I remember last week, you remember I sort of went on a little mini rant about how the next match in this feud should be like a women's Hell in a Cell or something ridiculous like that?
Yes.
Okay. I know that I sort of stretched that analogy a little bit. That was a little hyperbolic, and I apologize. However, in my escapades on my newly acquired WWE Network, I watched over some pay-per-views, just old pay-per-views that I have been in attendance with. I looked over the pay-per-views, and I started watching, Survivor Series 2002. And I just started skimming through the matches, just going down memory lane, seeing what was on there. And I stumbled across Trish Stratus versus Victoria in a women's hardcore match for the title.
I remember.
And
that
all of a
match.
sudden, it just hit me all at once. I mean, yeah, the ladies look good, but in all seriousness, I just saw Brian making the face. Whatever. Yeah, that one.
Calm down, man.
It's times like this that make me glad this is not
face.
a actual full-on video show. But anyway, I digress.
Not right now.
Blark. Anyway.
My dreams are gonna be good.
Okay, who's got the problem now, sir?
And I do not deny it.
My point being, when I was thinking about the kind of match that AJ and Paige can produce now that after we get more of a concrete heel-face dynamic out of these two, now that these girls are amping up their game, I can just point to Trish Stratus and Victoria at the 2002 Survivor Series, their hardcore match, and just point at it and say, that is what I want to see out of both these ladies going into this. I mean, sure, it had the 2002 match had botches, but for the most part, the flow was excellent. The girls were going. Victoria even got her nose busted, and there was blood all over her face, which looked awesome, by the way. And it was really an enjoyable, fun, brisk match from start to finish. If you've got the WWE Network, once you're done listening to our spectacular show, go on the WWE Network, SummerSlam, Survivor Series 2002, thank you, and look up the women's match. It's actually legitimately enjoyable. I'll watch it again.
Also, as I said last week, I was hoping that this match would be like the next Trish Stratus versus Mickie James, WrestleMania, what was that, 21, 22?
I think 22.
WrestleMania 22. Trish Stratus, Mickie James. That was the last, I believe, great women's title match when it was the women's title. So I was hoping that this could be like that. This time, not even close. SummerSlam, do better, please.
See, I just want to make it clear, I wasn't expecting them to have the spectacular match at Battleground. I was expecting something better than what they were giving us at the pay-per-view. Was I expecting it to be their A-game, like SummerSlam potential, what they're going to do? No. But I was at least planning on giving it like a 3, a classic goatee rating. I was expecting to give that when they were coming out. I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm going to look forward to this. Didn't happen. They just took that dream of like having a good starter match of their feud and making it look like that. At least the people were still into it. They didn't care about the two major botches of like when they fell out of the ring and when AJ, or was it Paige, trying to do the power bomb from the turnbuckle and like had the other person land on her legs. It just looked very sloppy. It just made me feel bad. It made me angry and made me disappointed, and I want it to be SummerSlam so I can get my hopes back up in this feud. Well, at least they started doing it. At least they started doing it on Monday with Paige fully turning heel, having that "now it's time to stab her in the back" moment that I've been wanting for the past couple of episodes.
Stab her in the back.
It's like, I'm your friend. Now is my time. Stab.
In all honesty,
it was so fun.
I think we all saw it was coming.
Oh, we all knew it was coming.
Just a matter of
like,
when is the other shoe gonna drop? And now it has. Now we're getting somewhere.
It was beautiful. It's like the second Paige pulled AJ's hair on Monday. I'm like, the first part. It's like it's time. Boom. All right.
You're like, the knife is in my hands.
Maybe we'll see some anti-diva. My hopes are not dashed just yet.
The second AJ hit the ground, ooh, what you say? AJ slowly turns to Paige. You just see Paige nodding with that Jack Nicholson face from Anger Management, nodding.
Good times.
Good times.
Good times.
But I can't wait to see where they're going to go with this. All right, moving on. Let's go on to the next match, next pay-per-view. The next match, which was a great story and eventually became controversial. Rusev versus Jack Swagger Controversial just because of what Lana was saying.
Lana, you got great legs, but why did you have to prove Jeff right that they would go there?
Well, really, why wouldn't they? I'd say they were actually tame compared to where they could have
They
gone.
were very tame. They
tame.
were so tamed. I actually missed it the first time. I'm just like,
Recent events? What else would it be?
I just didn't catch it the first time, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Yeah, Afghanistan, Iraq. Yeah, that's at least she's not mentioning the sad plane incident. Yeah, that's good. No, wait, what? She did say that? Click.
Yeah, it was relatively subtle compared to what we were expecting out of her.
What you were
recent events, a garbage ball,
and it got so controversial. They were thinking of scrapping the feud.
I don't think they will.
But from what we saw, well, at least what I saw, I don't know if you guys saw main event. It looks like they really are continuing this feud. They're like putting that rumor down the tomb, and Triple H is ready to bury it.
Mm-hmm.
Great match. I'm surprised. I actually didn't like. I wasn't. We were thinking like a dirty victory. I did not think of it being a count out.
Yeah, that was the story that was told here. It was
a very anticlimactic ending, but it's a great way to continue this feud, making both Swagger and Rusev look strong.
We haven't really seen Rusev being pushed to the limits like this. It was actually cool to watch. Especially when it was Swagger doing the punishing. That was the story being told here. This guy is very easily capable on any given night taking down Rusev, and he's a real American. The dynamic is there. The wrestling ability is there. It's where it's got to be. And there's a definite palpable feeling of, if Rusev and Swagger lock up again, he is only seconds away, Rusev is, from losing and tapping out and losing his undefeated streak. We the people. Boom.
Yeah.
There's your SummerSlam.
Swagger did his job coming into that show. Make Rusev look strong against a stronger opponent than what he's had in the past, and he performed to a T. And kudos to Swagger. Kudos to both of them. This was better than I expected it to be, and I'm not gonna give it a full beer. I'm gonna go high goatee.
High goatee.
I go to the sideburns are coming in. That's it.
We're very specific on these ratings. I'm actually going to have to second that one. Actually,
triple it.
I'm going. Yeah, triple it. There you go. Three-way beard coming in. There we go. It was a very entertaining match. Nobody looked weak in this one. Both guys did look strong. It actually made Rusev look like he could lose, and I'm surprised. I'm happy it wasn't a double count out. I actually like.
It didn't have to be.
It didn't exactly. It didn't have to be
for something so that stupid.
And when he reversed it and hit the post, I'm like, get in the ring, yeah, because I'm cheering for Rusev in this one. I don't care if he's face. I still don't like Swagger.
There's America. No pleasing some people.
No America when it comes to Jack Swagger for me.
For me, I've always been optimistic to Swagger, but he always lets me down with his weed the people and just. But when I was waiting for that one role where I could specifically say that I'm okay with Jack Swagger, and I found it, baby. We're here. I am okay with Jack Swagger. Do I love him? No. I'm on board, though.
Sometimes okay is just all you need.
I'm on board with Zeb Coulter. I'm not on board with Jack Swagger.
Which is why the two are paired together.
Fraggin' varmint.
I'm still waiting for that WWE.
It's going to happen on Halloween. The Halloween episode of Raw, we're going to see Zeb Coulter dress up as Yosemite Sam.
I'd better see it, WWE. If you don't give it to me, I'm going to be extremely disappointed.
So wait, what was the rating? Beer, almost like goatee with
classic
beer
goatee.
filling in.
Classic goatee, the sideburns are coming in.
There you go.
Classic goatee all around. We had pretty much minimal expectations going in, and this pretty much delivered on everything we pretty much wanted this to be.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And now let's get into the match that didn't really happen. Well, it happened.
It
but
happened in my heart.
It happened and it didn't happen at the same time. No official match started. It was just one big match all night long, all night, all night. Ending with Dean Ambrose climbing out of the trunk of Seth Rollins' rental car. I couldn't stop laughing. I'm just like, he's in the trunk. He's in the trunk. He's in the trunk. Seth Rollins is looking around. He's trying to pretend that the camera guy is not there. Where is he? Is he here? Is he anywhere? He's in the trunk. He's in the trunk. Slowly opens. He's in the trunk. Yes. Yes.
It almost seemed like an episode of Dora the Explorer. Do you know where Dean Ambrose is?
Where did he go?
Ambrose, no swiping.
It's Shane and the Big
man.
It's Shane and the Big Show all over again. Which way did he go? Which way did he go?
Where could Dean Ambrose be hiding?
But you know what? I loved every second of it.
So did I. It was so. And it actually
these guys
works.
are gonna be stars, and this just proves it.
Oh
I'll
yes,
tell you what.
I agree.
I'll tell you what. We're talking about where we started to realize what this pay-per-view was about. These whole segments were where it really sealed it and really showed me what this pay-per-view was and just what was coming next. Obviously I enjoyed what we got. Obviously I would have preferred an actual match. I feel really bad for the people who paid full price to see this thing live or don't have the WWE Network yet, heaven forbid, and had to pay full price really wanting... Because this match, let's face it, this match would have been a pay-per-view seller.
Oh, yes. It was a pay-per-view seller, but just not... No, it didn't sell... WWE didn't sold on it.
Yeah. If you paid more than $10 for this based on this match alone, I can imagine you being heavily PO'd about this.
It's understandable because both guys are actually injured right now. Seth Rollins does have that knee injury, actually was somewhat legit, but not serious. And Dean Ambrose's shoulder is still like the taped up is really because his shoulder is banged up. So they're just keeping these guys healthy, doing backstage segments, and
I'll tell you what.
At least it kept the storyline going, and it actually worked for both of them because Dean Ambrose is that wild card that just can show up out of nowhere. He doesn't have to wait for a match to begin, and it was a load of fun. We were just like, "Oh, he's back in the building!" It's like, I want it to declare a forfeit. There he is. How did he get in? Oh my God! Now every single road agent that's bald right now is tackling each of the guys. Did anyone else notice that? Every road agent is clean, is just clean shaven in the head.
But I'll tell you
clean shaven in the head. I like that.
That sounds like a really dumb insult. But either way, I broke the fool.
No, you didn't. That was just very good. Very good.
If that's legitimately the reason, because they're both banged up, that this match did not happen the way we thought it would. If that's legitimate, then that makes all the more sense, and it makes me. I gotta give props to the WWE creative team for rebounding like they had in case these guys legitimately are injured.
I think we have to give the credit to Ambrose and Rollins. I don't think creative is creative.
Well, you know what I mean. The powers that be. If that's a legitimate reason, if what you said is actually true,
from what I read, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. If that's true, then I don't feel quite so bad about. Or quite so mad about what we got out of this match. Again, for what I paid, I enjoyed it just fine. This is more of a Raw segment, but it was an enjoyable Raw segment.
Yes, and it just leads into the bash that they're going to have at SummerSlam. I think this match at SummerSlam is going to be the coming out party.
I think the match is going to be a street fight.
This match itself, whatever it may be,
as long as it's an actual match,
it's gonna be a star-making.
Oh yes,
match
for both guys.
Easily.
But yeah, I think with how they're built, how they had it for Battleground, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it as a street fight.
anything could happen at this point, and whatever we get, as long as it's an actual full-on match, then I'm good with whatever.
So what do you give? So what do you give Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose throughout the entire night?
I'm hesitant to even give this a rating, an actual rating, since it wasn't an actual match.
For storyline purposes.
For storyline purposes,
because that's
all it was, baby.
Because that's all it was.
Again, I'm still hesitant to give this thing a rating since it's not really complete.
I'm not gonna give it a match rating. For storyline and entertainment purposes, it gets a goat face for me.
Seconded.
But it's not going to get a match rating from me, and it's not going to get a storyline rating from me just because it's not over yet. I need to see the entirety of the thing before I can actually give it a legitimate rating.
So
I will say this, though. This was fun, and I liked it. That's it. That's as much of a rating that you'll get.
I think we can all agree with that one. That's the rating that we'll give it. It was fun. We liked it.
It was fun. We liked it. We want more.
Yes.
Feed us more.
We want lots more.
We are the Ryback.
We're talking about all night long. How about all year long? I could go with that.
I could go with that too. This feud just should not end.
I don't even think Dean Ambrose can go that long.
Oh.
This is a weird episode for a weird pay-per-view.
And continuing this weird pay-per-view is another match that was like another disappointment, but it was very good. I loved it. Bray Wyatt versus Chris Jericho, with Jericho defeating Bray Wyatt with an out-of-nowhere code breaker.
Here's the deal, okay? We know that the result was changed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But, okay.
It works.
It's still going into the fact that, as I said earlier in the show, we predicted the show right. We just predicted the wrong show.
We predicted SummerSlam.
The win for Bray Wyatt is coming, and I figure that they gave Chris Jericho this win so to give him something back from when they did the same thing to him with the 2012 Royal Rumble, and all we got out of that was the 18-second
world title
match.
I'll give you that.
So. And he turned out having the bigger profile feud and all that, so he should have won that Royal Rumble like he was supposed to. So they're like, okay.
I doubt it's really that's the reason. But
I really doubt it's that deep.
If that is,
I really doubt it's that
helps
deep.
If that helps you sleep at night,
it helps
Brian,
me sleep at night. So
then
I'll
accept it. I'll accept that.
We all know where this is going to end, and there was a screw up. There was a glaring screw up with the Gutbuster.
Yes.
No. But other than that, okay, of course Jericho's got to be a little rusty. Come on, I'll give him. He hasn't touched a ring for a year in a long match.
Apparently, that match with Miz didn't clear up all the ring rust.
They were in the ring for 5 minutes. Of course, it's not going to. But it's with what we know that Bray Wyatt can do, and with what we know that Jericho can do, was this the best that they can do? No, they're going to leave that all out on the line at SummerSlam.
Of course.
So, it wasn't match of the night, but I'm fully capable of being okay with giving it a goatee.
Fool. I'll save me for last.
This match, oh man, I've so many mixed emotions about this. Just by sheer virtue of who's in this, I feel like I should just give it a high rating automatically. Because like we were talking about, it's Bray Wyatt, it's Chris Jericho. How could this be bad? Well, we saw how it can come close. Again, Jericho. Again, the standard of talent for someone like Chris Jericho, for me, is very high. So I found a lot to like in this match. Sure, it wasn't a perfect match. Sure, he wasn't as crisp as Chris Jericho normally is. And I think biggest of all, Jericho did not need to win this. If he did, then I'm not privy to the reasoning why. It just... Bray needed the win far more, which, again, I'm assuming that Bray Wyatt is going to get his win back at SummerSlam, and they're just going to extend the feud. That's the only real reasoning I can think of for the match,
But
unless you guys know something
just
else.
remember,
but
yeah.
This is, again, it was an okay match. It was just the ending that was very bizarre to me at the time, and I just didn't know what to make of it until I realized where this pay-per-view was going.
Yeah, I'm fine with the ending of this match only because I know how this feud ends. Chris Jericho doesn't come back to pull a John Cena. Okay, Chris Jericho doesn't come back to pull a John Cena and win a feud. So obviously he's gonna lose the feud. So I'm not worried.
It's like what Bray Wyatt said. You won the battle, but the war is still going on.
And he said the same thing to John Cena, but John Cena and Chris Jericho are two separate entities, and you know that Jericho's got to do the right thing.
You know, one of them is going to put the younger talent over,
and it's most likely going to be Jericho.
Exactly.
So I'm not too worried at this point.
I'm not worried either.
I'm not worried either.
It's just the battleground. It's nothing spectacular. It's the little bridge that separates Money in the Bank from SummerSlam. It's all it is just build up for something bigger, and they built it bigger the next night on Raw with Bray Wyatt taking control over the highlight reel, showing footage of them attacking Chris Jericho, which we all found out was recorded at Battleground. So that was a little fun little trivia, and Bray Wyatt just doing his normal thing. The battle, you may have won this battle, but the war's still going on. I was expecting Bray Wyatt to, after that whole beatdown backstage, I was expecting Bray Wyatt to pull a funny and go, sooner or later, Chris, everyone's walls come crashing down. In a reference to break the wall down. I would have liked to have heard him say that. Just nice little Easter egg in there, but it was just as good. What he said in the ring backstage after they attacked Chris Jericho, leaving his ear bloodied. I was very entertained. This feud is going to continue to be awesome.
This was fine for what it was. Again, we're all at this point. We're all just waiting for the full-on actual rematch here. That's what we're all waiting on. At least I am. And we know we're going to get it.
There's only two complaints that I really had in this match. Well, I think I can really merge them into one. Is just how reliant Bray Wyatt is on Harper and Rowan in his matches now.
At least that's how it looks like. And really, that's, at least in my estimation, that is one of the major problems that I had with Chris Jericho winning. If he's supposed to be a steady, strong, physical threat on his own, then he should not need them to win a legitimate match.
Well,
I just don't know what they're doing with it.
I think
right
the
now.
real
How
argument
they want him to be seen.
I think the real argument with here is, at least with this one, the finish. It wasn't like built up. It was just a finish. It was one of those finishing moves that came out of nowhere and just like ended it there.
That was kind of weird.
But Bray Wyatt still looked like he was close to winning until that one. Somebody said this before recording. I think it was you fools. Like that somebody said Bray Wyatt forgot that Jericho had a special meter filled to capacity.
That was Noah Antweiler. Spoonie said that, not me.
Spoonie said that was actually really funny.
That was the best analogy I had or the best example I had for that ending.
Forgot that he had a special all lined up.
I
was like, touche.
Credit to you, Noah. That one was good. I applaud you, and he's absolutely right. It was just. The finish was just so weird, and the ending of that match was so weird. It's not like I hated it, but again, it just left me with that feeling of why, which we probably won't find out until later. But whatever. The feud is going to continue.
One real reason is you got to at least make Jericho. Yes, he's going to put him over in the end, but you still got to make it so like he's Chris Jericho. He's the first-time undisputed champion, 9-time Intercontinental champion. Multi-time world champion. They still got to show he's still that.
Yeah.
And that was the whole point of it.
And
showing
you know
that,
what? We could have this argument. This could develop into a full-blown argument versus, does Jericho really need the rub? Will he be seen as anything other than high-caliber Chris Jericho? Can Bray Wyatt afford the loss? Can he? Can't he? Again, that's a whole nother episode for another time.
For such a low-rated pay-per-view, it really doesn't hurt.
This feud, again, I'm not going to say anything because I know we're going to get into an argument after this. The one thing that's consoling me here is it's not over yet. We all know that there's more matches coming, more segments coming, more of this feud to go around. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. This match was okay. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 classic goatee. Okay for what it was. Not what we were expecting, but still not bad at all.
I gotta give it a 3 classic goatee as well. That's my official rating. Nothing more, nothing less. We all said, we all gave our 2 cents about it. And now let's give our 2 cents on the Intercontinental Battle Royal. Miz, not so cleverly, at least on the WWE camera guys.
Johnny Cage wins.
Johnny Cage wins.
WWE, the WWE camera crew did such a horrible job showing that Miz is still in this match. Every time they record outside, you see Miz just laying there. It's like, are you trying to remind us that Miz is still in this match?
Yes.
I really, you don't think so, because they keep saying, "Oh, he got hit from the bottom rope or the second rope," and you don't see him anymore until another time he comes in and then he rolls out of the ring. It was just, at least the good thing that came out of this is now there's actually a legit feud for the Intercontinental Championship.
Huh?
We got now the top contenders. The Miz as the champion. Sheamus is still around. Because he's wanting to unify the titles. And now you have Dolph Ziggler in there who almost won. Who looked like everyone was happy that he won, and then Miz came in and just be like,
ultimate heel move.
Is like, Ziggler, you stepped on my $500 sunglasses. I'll throw you out of the ring.
I'll tell you what,
this was Alberto Del Rio and Santino all over again.
Except Santino actually succeeded because Santino was the Miz. The man who...
Okay, that took...
It's like, remember, Santino was the one outside of the ring.
I saw where you
Come on, you both gave me that look of what?
Yeah, the way you phrased it was just like, yeah, Santino won the Royal Rumble that one year. It's like, no. But really, going back to the actual match in question here...
At least you guys got it.
Yes, eventually. It just took us a second.
Drink some clear liquid to catch your brain up.
The little purple, bro. Explain it better.
Get some fruity.
Explain it better. Explain it better. Anywho, back to the match in question. Blarg. Back to the match in question. I actually got a lot more out of this match. This is going to sound really bad, but I think we all know how Battle Royals have a tendency to go. First, there's a whole bunch of guys in the ring. They do, brawl. Brawl.
15 guys get thrown out. Comes
not even that just yet. Just one or two jobbers get eliminated right away. A little more brawling, a little more wrestling. A few guys go out. Then there's the meat and potatoes of the entire match.
Back to food analogies.
Well, food is the universal language. I'm a fat guy.
Food is life.
Food is energy.
It kind of is, but whatever.
Food is energy.
We're getting off track here. Anyway, so the big guy in the match gets eliminated after a group team with either Kali or Big Show, whoever they got.
They only had the cheese in there.
Yeah, they only had the cheese stands alone. Yeah, that just happened. And
in case you're wondering, people, the cheese is the Great Kali. I just call him the Great Cheese. Just because he's such a big cheese.
Who else could he be? If
they don't know that. No one knows.
If we preface it with the Great Cheese, who else could be the Great Cheese?
And he almost made a Batista reference at the same time.
There's several cheeses in the WWE, but there's only one Great Cheese.
Expect a picture of the Great Cheese at a future WWE show that I attend to. Just
Or
a big
poster
of the
Great
Facebook
Cheese wall.
I'll let them know. I'll let them know it's
Great
coming.
Cheese. Anyway, I think we all know the same spots that happens in every Royal Rumble, every Battle Royal, whatever you got. That being said, I thought I knew what to expect out of this match. To that end, I did not pay very close attention to this match because I really wasn't paying attention to
You were
anything.
playing your video games.
I was playing Killer Instinct on my second screen on my Xbox. Leave me alone.
You
no one
cheated.
would blame me. I did not cheat at Killer Instinct. Leave me alone.
No.
Spinal for life. Anyway,
Cheetah.
Spinal doesn't cheat. Anyway, I thought I knew what to expect going into this match. So I didn't pay much attention to it until maybe the final 4 or final 5, whatever, final group. I blinked and I nearly missed Heath Slater eliminating Cesaro, the odds-on favorite to win for all of us.
I was amused.
I was amused too. I was shocked at first. I was like, "Whoa, maybe they're actually mixing it up a bit."
Wait, what are they amused? What's the amused?
We're being amused as you stepped out of the room for a
We're
second.
being amused at Heath Slater.
Heath Slater eliminating the odds-on favorite in Cesaro in our
That
eyes.
angered me. That really grind my gears.
That just
You got amused from that?
I'll tell you what. I understand why, but again, I was in this mode where I thought, okay, you've seen one Battle Royal, you've seen them all, whatever. That's what really told me, okay, maybe there's something extra to see here. So I paid a little bit more attention. Then it sort of regressed into the same formula, blah, blah. Toned out for a second. I missed The Miz rolling under the bottom rope. So that when the rest of the match happened, as it did, I thought, okay, that's awesome. Cesaro's out, but Dolph Ziggler wins. Hooray. And then 2 seconds later, boom, Johnny Cage wins. Okay, I'm shocked. At the time, because I was not paying attention, I confess, I did not see that coming. So I thought it was pretty. Yeah, I didn't. So I thought that was fine. I am okay with the match as I saw it. Not the way it was presented, but as I saw it.
It started out, okay, typical Battle Royal.
Yeah.
And then I saw The Miz roll outside, and I was like, ooh, here we go. Intrigue. But when he rolls out on the bottom, you can pretty much expect that he's either going to win or he's going to be Santino. So I'm like, okay, this could be interesting. And then here comes Heath Slater. And my first reaction to him throwing out Cesaro was like, are you serious? My amusement was more like psycho amused. It was one of those like, you're looking at something that you hate, but you're just like...
Just because it's so different than what we normally get at WWE. It was unexpected.
Oh yeah, how expected that a guy who has no future in WWE managed to beat someone who's going to be a top star in the future. That makes total sense.
And it was more like not hurt by this.
Yeah, but it's still just completely ridiculous. At least if he was going to get eliminated surprisingly, have someone like Bo Dallas do it. He's been exaggerating his eliminations the entire match, and having the guy who won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal at WrestleMania, the favorite man who's like the master of Battle Royals, that would have actually made more sense to it. Having someone like Heath Slater take it does absolutely nothing. Next time you see Heath Slater, he gets pwned again by Pitbull.
And I figure,
Florida.
But
and then getting dominated on main event with Titus O'Neil getting dominated by Kofi and Big E.
Thoughts about that,
but
there's
here's the deal: you're either like Tarek and angry, or you're like me and you're like psychobabble amused. Like you just accidentally you're Sirius Black in the Harry Potter series where someone else blows up 12 people, transforms into a rat and runs away, and you're just standing there laughing your ass off. That's where I'm at this match. Cesaro gets thrown out by Heath Slater, and I'm sitting there laughing my ass off. Not like full belly laughs, like I'm that amused, but I'm like one of those. And then Ziggler wins, air quotes, and The Miz just rolls out, and as stated, Johnny Cage wins, and I'm like, yeah, that match happened.
The only way
you-
I was able to see that part doing justice is if the next night on Raw, Cesaro came in and completely destroyed Heath Slater. But that didn't happen. Instead, Cesaro dropped being a Paul Heyman guy out of the blue and just wanting to join the Authority out of the blue. At least he's somewhat being part of the main story, I guess.
Yeah,
that's the positive I can look at it.
Cesaro isn't going anywhere. He's still very, very safe. They're changing his role, sure, but really, I have a real hard time seeing this. Let's put it this another way. If this were an actual match, Heath Slater versus Cesaro, then I would be totally in a complete and total agreement with what you're saying.
Yeah, I'd be pissed.
A battle royal elimination. This is the only way this could have ever possibly happened.
This is Maven eliminating the Undertaker.
That's a good way to put it. And and of course, like him.
And what happened there? 6 months later, you never see Maven ever again.
Yeah.
So that's it.
I think Maven and Taker have made more of an impact than Cesaro and.
Oh, no
Heath
doubt.
Slater.
But I mean, like, this is just another one of those. Cesaro will go on to have a big career, and Heath Slater will
be doing a shoot interview next year.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, though. The good thing that came out of that one moment in this match, as much as, you may not have liked it, for me anyway, this definitely contributed to the feeling of unpredictability that the battle royals like this are always put over as being. But we as smarter wrestling fans, we talked about finding all the formulas, the flows, how these things typically go, and I'm not singling anybody out here. This is a way that we all have a tendency to think. We all have a tendency to think of this as far as in terms of either someone's super deserving or someone's, if you're either super deserving or you're taking away from somebody else. It seems like we're all collectively, as the internet wrestling community, we as fans are almost programmed to think in terms of black and white. Because, again, we've got the insider knowledge, we've got all this going on. I'm not saying it's correct, I'm not saying it's the best possible solution. It's not like Heath Slater is going over Cesaro clean on a pay-per-view or even a Raw or even a SmackDown Superstars, whatever you got. It was a fluke elimination from a single battle royal, and I think outside of just unpredictability, this also, again, I think I can't say we were the only ones who really thought that Cesaro was going to win. Cesaro had to be one of the odds-on favorites. So, if anything, this was, adding to the unpredictability thing, this is one of those things where they really showed us by having Cesaro being eliminated as soon as he was, in the manner that he was, that says, okay, now this match is unpredictable again. Anyone can win the title, blah, 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 or so they say.
The second Miz got out of continuous, when he got out of the ring the first time, I knew he was winning.
Again, I did not see that at the time, so that didn't hurt it in my eyes, but again, as far as the unpredictability moment, they knocked it out of the park in one aspect, but then they dropped the ball in another aspect.
And I'll go with that statement and say that that's pretty much why this is getting a classic OT for me. Could have been a Peach Fuzz, but I'm gonna go classic OT for that
Agreed.
WTF moment of Heath Slater getting out Cesaro, because it was like you're sitting there, WTF. When you get a reaction, that's good enough for me. 3 out of 5.
I agree.
Classic OT.
Maybe not so much just for that reason, but again, like any other match, that was a enjoyable piece of the entire puzzle that was this match. Just again, I normally enjoy battle royals, especially high stakes battle royals when there's something big on the line, like a Royal Rumble, like an Intercontinental title match, like this one. There's plenty of like. Sure, it wasn't perfect, but from what I did see and how I did see it, there was a lot to like, and I'm going to have to give it. I can't give this any less than a 3 out of 5 classic goatee. I'm all on board.
I'm gonna give it a classic goatee as well, even though I got angry at that. How I wanted to see this happen, with Johnny Cage still winning this, I guess we're officially
He's Johnny Cage. Let's just say it. He's Johnny Cage.
I would have actually preferred switching Sheamus and Cesaro positions. I actually think it would have made an even bit funnier impact if Heath Slater eliminated a former world champion in Sheamus, who people think would have been an odds-on favorite, and he was throughout the match he was dominant.
And then Heath Slater gets a United States title shot and gets killed and goes back down the...
And with Cesaro being the hands-on favorite, having now 2 favorites in Dolph Ziggler and Cesaro potentially winning it, that actually would have made a bigger impact on me. But it's still, like, the fact that Ziggler won and Miz threw him out would have kept this feud, kept it all going. Like I said, I would have preferred having Cesaro in that spot, in Sheamus' spot, and switch Sheamus with Cesaro. But it was still very entertaining, even though I did see the result coming. And with Miz rolling out first, I'm like, yep, he's winning. He comes back in again, gets dominated, gets thrown out the second one. I'm like, yep, he is definitely winning. That hands down. And what you know, he actually did win. And led to a Ziggler-Miz match on Raw, Ziggler winning. I don't know where they're going to go with this, other than at least there's actually now a legit feud for the Intercontinental Championship until Bad News Barrett comes back and
I don't know.
and knocks everyone out.
We'll see how this goes.
I kind of want the Miz to hold it for a while.
Oh, he's going to hold it for a while. Yeah, he is. But at least
he's a placeholder. He's a placeholder for the face turn Bad News Barrett when it comes back.
Oh yeah.
That'll be interesting. I honestly didn't even think of that far ahead, but
well, I'm just thinking
if that's where this is going, I'd be more than okay with it.
I'm just thinking with the reactions that Bad News Barrett was getting before
you're not wrong.
The injury, that why not have him come back, keep the character the same, but turn him face.
People usually come back from injuries, usually do get that face reaction anyway, and I do agree. I think the best thing to do is to have Bad News Barrett become a face in the end. And now the most predictable match, because we all saw the leaks for the previews for SummerSlam. We saw the posters. Cena wins. No brainer there.
World Heavyweight title match.
World Heavyweight title. Classic goatee. There's really nothing else to say other than what we said last week. Than it was because of the leaks. There was no way they're going to pull a swerve on their having Brock Lesnar versus John Cena as the main event of SummerSlam. They're number 2 a show. As
far as the result, yes. But again, it's not always about the destination. Sometimes in a match, it's about the journey, and these guys were okay. I can't say these guys were okay. These guys were good. And really, I just recently realized this. As far as Roman Reigns, he was in this exact type of match they needed to be in. The more guys he's got to bounce off of and do his little spears and Superman punches, the better off he looks. And most importantly, he didn't win. If he wins, then that would be colossally mishandling Roman Reigns. But I'm just going to stop myself right there before I go off on another tangent about Roman Reigns.
That could be next week.
Yes. So for what we did get, I was very pleased. It was nicely, briskly paced. Everyone played off each other nicely. Everyone played their parts. Blarg. And, 1, 2, 3, LOL, Cena wins. It was fine.
Basically, word for word, he got it all. It was basic Fatal 4-Way.
It was what we expect out of a Fatal 4-Way, a main event on pay-per-view with these 4 guys.
We knew who the winner was going to be.
Yeah.
We knew who the winner was going to be, and it was typical Fatal 4-Way. Nothing really new introduced. Nothing really new introduced. You had that cool moment of Roman Reigns going nuts on everybody, and you had the John Cena looking at the ref, looking up, trying to find Kane moment. Kane, you're supposed to be over here, bro. What are you doing?
But other than someone else noticed that.
Other than that, it was typical. It was good. It was typical 4-man classic goatee.
I have to give it a very low classic goatee, just because of how predictable it was and how, like you said, everyone was in their spot. It was too predictable. Everything that could have happened in this match happened. Nothing special. We all knew Kane and Orton were going to eventually turn on each other. We knew Roman Reigns was going to be dominant and drop kicking everybody. Spear. We all knew it was Kane that was going to get the pin. We all knew Cena was going to get the win. And the fact that it was so predictable really hurt it for me. So it's going to be a very low classic goatee. And now take John Cena out of the picture and you're going to have the match for SummerSlam. Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton versus Kane. That's what you're going to get.
I sincerely hope not, just because if that actually does end up happening like that, I am not going to care in the slightest about that match. But again, that's guessing, that's speculation right now. I'm not even going to get into that until if and when it happens. As far as this match goes, again, I'm of the school of thought that the execution was good, even though we pretty much knew what we were expecting. Just because personally I knew what I was expecting doesn't mean I was necessarily going to hate what I was going to be offered here. And it just was what it was. It's
not that I was going to automatically hate it. It was just because it was so predictable and just it was nothing fresh.
Right.
Everyone was on autopilot in this match. And it was because nobody was really into it. Why would I be into it?
It was you weren't wrong. Your view was entirely valid. I'm just seeing this as like two sides of the same coin as far as reactions to this match. It was what it was, and by the time the match was over, I found myself pleased with the execution, but after the rest of the pay-per-view, I was just okay. This match is over. That ending to that match was satisfactory enough.
What ended up being satisfactory was the announcement of who is facing John Cena at SummerSlam.
Oh, this was so good.
Plan C.
There you go.
Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman giving the best promo in a long time.
Or at least the most enthusiastic one.
I loved every second of it. No, there wasn't. I think the last promo that really got me so pumped was the CM Punk pipe bomb. Nothing between those 2 points really got me in hook, line, and sinker.
I'll tell you what. You want to talk about predictable but well executed?
That's what it was.
Oh yeah.
That's it in a nutshell. We all knew that going in that they're gonna announce Brock Lesnar versus Cena at some point. They're gonna do it somehow. I don't think any of us really expected the grade A caliber bomb that Paul Heyman dropped on us.
I did. It's Paul Heyman.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that.
I didn't expect that he'd do a remix.
I'm not saying that we think that Paul Heyman was bad, but we're talking about Paul Heyman doing gold promos, which he does on an often basis, and there's Paul Heyman platinum promos. This was a Paul Heyman platinum edition promo right here.
About this promo, he remixed the Pledge of Allegiance. Done. Love it. And the way he did it, the entire promo was great, but just those last few lines that remixed the Pledge of Allegiance and then definitively stated that John Cena was going to be beat down and Brock Lesnar will become WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Great. Perfection. I'm good. That could have been it. That could have been the go home show. That could have been the go home promo, and I'd be like, I'm in.
Expect something bigger for the go home show for SummerSlam.
Oh, there's.
I don't need any bigger than that.
Oh, it's gonna get bigger.
There's gonna be at least something, at least matching.
Oh
that.
yeah, no doubt.
Easily.
Well,
There's
not
gonna
from
be
John Cena. But
Duh.
There's gonna be the requisite verbal joust, and of course, Paul
John
Heyman's
Cena's
gonna
gotta-
dominate him verbally. Brock Lesnar's gonna dominate him physically. There's gonna be back and forth. Everyone can do their part to bring aboard the hype train that is this entire thing. This is going to be. This is good. This is just that. That's all I really have got to say. Without being any more, I can't get any more concise than that. This is going to be good. Again, predictable. We all know how it's going to go as far as progression leading up to the match. Ending the match, yeah, we'll discuss that another time, obviously. At great length, no doubt.
Alright, so final ratings, gentlemen. What would you give Battleground in all?
I will give it a classic goatee because the pre-show get it out. Other than that, it was weird. It was middle of the road. It was middle of the road. Nothing too crappy, in my opinion, and nothing that was great. So, classic goatee, middle of the road, 3 out of 5.
I have a real hard time giving this thing a classic goatee. It's just that personally seems way too high for what we got, but at the same time, I feel like just a full-on peach fuzz of 2 out of 5 would just be too low and contrary. If there's something that exists that legitimately qualifies as a 2.5, then maybe we can come up with it. Just
OT filling in.
Goatee filling in. That's about as good as I'm going to get with that. I'm going to go with 2.5 out of 5 out of this one. This one was, I expected far more. There was, again, a couple really nice spots, but at the same time, a lot of good points I found. I feel like I had to enjoy them out of duress, just because I was watching it right after getting the WWE Network on my brand new Xbox, and I missed a couple detrimental points that really would have hurt it for me more otherwise. So, and that's really not the way wrestling shows should traditionally be watched to get the most enjoyment out of them. And if this was any other pay-per-view, I would probably be a lot more disappointed if that's what they presented me with. But at the same time, with the golden points of the show, there was still enough to like where I cannot give it anything less than a 2.5 out of 5.
I think I'm going to go with a straight-on classic goatee. The card and build for this was a lot better than the actual payoff that these matches presented us. Most of the people were on autopilot during the match. There were a couple of moments where someone messed up, either from ring rust or just plain stupidity. It was a very confusing, very weird pay-per-view, was what we were all saying. We were expecting so much out of this so that we kind of built our hopes up a little too high, giving this pay-per-view too much credit than it really deserved in the end. So I can't give it any more than just the normal 3 classic goatee.
But again, what you just said about everyone getting our hopes up, again, I gotta give credit where credit is due. The promo people and just how the level of hype that everyone had going into it. To be fair, it was really hard not to get hyped up for some of these matches. Like we were talking about just last week, this card, at least in theory, was seriously stacked. Not every match delivered, which, again, given how hyped up some of us were for some of these matches, you really can't, in most cases, really expect them to deliver on these matches outside of a major pay-per-view like a SummerSlam. Like, again, Fool, you put it pretty much perfectly well. When we were predicting this, we weren't predicting Battleground. We were predicting SummerSlam, which I think that's what really ended up hurting some of our predictions in the long run. Again, like you said, a lot to like, but not what we expected.
Alright, so Good analogies. Very fun. Well, I think that about wraps it up for tonight's episode, gentlemen. Now, we want to know what you, the listeners, thought of WWE Battleground. Post a comment below this video to give us your reaction, good or bad. Did you agree with what we said? Is there more that we missed that you wanted to talk about? We want to know. And if you like what you hear on the Scholars of Wrestling, be sure to like this video and to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and to follow us on Twitter. Thank you all for listening in, and I hope you had a great show. We had fun talking about it. Nothing more to say except we are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled.
You're welcome.
Oh wait, there's something I forgot I wanted to talk about tonight. The seed planting of a new We Are the Nation of Domination. Dun 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 dun.
You know there's gonna be something next week.
Dun 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 dun.
See you Monday.